Hi, I'm Zach, this is Chasing Cars, and today we're looking at this, the 2025 Genesis GV70 SUV. It's been updated for 2025, it's got improvements mainly on the interior, but today I'm going to find out, is this the best GV70 yet? We're in very sunny Byron Bay to check out the new car, take it for a drive, and have a look at the interior. But before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to Chasing Cars. Chasing Cars, honest reviews of your next car. Brought to you by Budget Direct. So what exactly is the grade structure for this Genesis GV70 in 2025? Well, it starts at the bottom with the Advanced, goes up to the Signature, and then from the Signature right up to this, the Signature Sport. All variants are all-wheel drive, and you're still able to get either a 2.5 litre turbo engine or a 3.5 litre turbo V6 engine. So what exactly does the Genesis GV70 cost in 2025? Well, the entry-level Advanced variant has been priced from $78,500 before on-road costs, an $8,000 price increase on the 2024 pre-facelift car. Meanwhile, the mid-spec Signature variant will start from $87,500 before on-road costs. The Signature Sport V6 we drove for this very review sits at the absolute top of the range, priced at $100,000 plus on-road costs. It's worth noting that it's quite a step up in price between the 2.5 litre 4-cylinder and the 3.5 litre twin-turbo V6 engine. You'll need to pay a $10,500 premium for the smoother, more powerful V6 engine. So what is it like inside the Genesis GV70? Well, this is a really premium space to be in. Really comfortable seats, quilted leather seats, a lovely leather steering wheel with a flat bottom as part of this sport package. The material choices in here are lovely. They're all really soft touch. Everywhere you feel is really quality. It feels well built. It definitely feels at that BMW Audi standard. Really impressive. One thing I really love about this interior and a real standout is the stainless steel finish here in the center. Really nicely done. Feels premium, looks really good, and it looks a lot better than piano black plastic, that's for sure. And the main touch points are really nice in here too. The steering wheel feels really well built, and you've got sort of a really soft sort of armrest here, all along the sides here are really soft, and again, you're going to need that when you're driving long distances, especially for my weird knees that stick out a little bit. It's good to have that sort of softness just there on the left. So that's really good too. So one of the highlight features of this update for 2025 is this massive screen in front of you, 27 inches. It is a beast of a thing. It's got the instrument cluster right in front of you, but it also has your touchscreen on the left-hand side. There's no break in between. It is one pure screen right across. It's a lovely touchless interior. It really makes it a lot better than the pre-facelift GV70. This screen runs wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. It seems to work pretty well. I've tried it out just before with my phone. Pretty good, but this screen is really easy to use. It's nice and clear, and look, it's a big step up over the old screen. Now, another good part about this 27-inch screen is that you don't have to dive into the climate menu through the screen. There's actually a really handy little HVAC screen down below where you can run all your air conditioning climate control. I love that it's separate. I don't love when car makers put the climate straight into the screen and bury it within the touchscreen. To have a separate HVAC control for that is a really nice touch. So what else do you get for your money in the GV70 in the front seat? Well, there's a lot going on in here. You do get a panoramic sunroof, which is really nice. You've got two cup holders just here, which look pretty decent. They'll easily fit a coffee or a water bottle. You have two sort of dials here in the center. One's for your drive select. The other is sort of to run through the touchscreen with. You've got your drive terrain buttons here, which is really nicely finished as well, sort of feels really quality. On the steering wheel, you have plenty of buttons to choose from. The star button is particularly handy to allow you to turn off the speed assist systems, which can be very annoying. So that's a good handy button to have on the steering wheel. This car also has a Bang & Olufsen sound system, and it's got wireless charging just tucked under here, which is very nice. And also in the center area here, you just lift it up and you've got two USB-C ports in there. You've got a 12-volt plug, and you've also got a way to sanitize your phone, which is interesting. So you just chuck it in there and it'll do its thing. Not sure how exactly that works, but it's pretty interesting. Now, also we have a head-up display just front and center there. It's nice and clear. It's a big head-up display, and it just makes things a little bit easier, keeps your eye on the road. So those are my first impressions of the front seat of the Genesis GV70 facelift. I'm looking forward to spending more time in this car in the future. So what's the back seat like in the GV70? Well, it's a familiar place. I've spent a little bit of time in the back seat of a GV70 before, and not a lot has changed back here. There's still okay knee room, plenty of toe room, and the headroom is not too bad. I wouldn't say it's overly spacious back here, but it's certainly fine. And it would be fine for, 2 or 3 adults to sit back here for a little while, probably not forever, but it's certainly not too bad. Now back here you get magazine pockets just in the back of the seats. You get a revised climate control panel, which is really cool. You have rear air vents, and you also have 2 USB-C ports for charging your iPads or whatever you want to do. Now in the center here there is a fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and in the sides of the doors there's okay sized door bins, but I don't think you're going to fit too much in there. And of course you got your little Bang & Olufsen tweeters in the back as well. It's nicely done in here. The seats feel quite comfortable, quite supportive, really nice material. This quilted leather is lovely. And of course you can see out quite nicely with the panoramic roof. So it's a good package. So around the back of the Genesis GV70, simply use the little button here to open it up. Electric tailgate, pretty cool. Inside you get 542 litres of storage space. There is a space saver spare wheel underneath, and under here, this little nook, you do get your cargo blinds. So for your groceries, keep things nice and cool, pretty handy in summer. You've also got a 12-volt plug just on the side there, and plus you've got your first aid kit and your roadside kit as well. So pretty good. All Genesis models come with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. The GV70 needs to be serviced every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The service price for 5 years is complimentary with the vehicle purchase. As for fuel efficiency, the V6 engine for the GV70 has a combined fuel economy of 11.3 litres per 100 kilometres. During our road test and with a mixture of driving scenarios, including significant time on the highway, we saw around 12 litres per 100 kilometres on the trip computer, so it's not exactly frugal. The GV70 has a 66 litre fuel tank and requires premium 95 octane to run. So here we are inside the Genesis GV70. We're having a first drive of the updated car for 2025. And I guess I'll start a bit about the engines and what's changed there. Well, unfortunately, not a lot. You still have the option of either a 2.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine or a larger 3.5 litre twin turbocharged V6 engine. The 4-cylinder produces 224 kilowatts. The V6, which we're in now, produces 279 kilowatts of power. Immediately, this is my favorite engine, this V6. It is just buttery smooth. It's got plenty of low down torque. It's really drivable. It's quiet. It's just the whole package, and I think it's just a little bit better than that 2.5 litre. We drove the 2.5 litre as well on this very launch. We found that it was just a little bit unresponsive. It had a bit of a doughy throttle response. It had to rev quite a lot higher to get things done, to get up to speed, to get on the highway, etc. So this V6 is just a much more relaxed unit. So Genesis has made a big deal about NVH levels inside the GV70 for 2025. It's actually got little microphones in the roof there that actually put out sound to active sound deaden, if that makes sense, and make it a quieter cabin. But they've also changed things like engine mounts. They've put mounts on the transmission. There's a lot going on here in 2025 that's made this car probably even more comfortable than it was before. Now this GV70, this is the top spec signature sport version. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission and it is exclusively all-wheel drive. Look, it's a pretty smooth unit. It shifts easily and it's just sort of built for cruising, which is perfect for this car. I think this car with its sort of adaptive suspension setup too is just generally a more cruiser style of GV70, whereas the 2.5 litre, which doesn't have the active suspension, feels a little bit more of a corner carver and a bit more fun up in the mountains. It's probably not a huge thing for most SUV buyers, but it's good to have a bit of fun, and this is a little bit of a sportier SUV than some others in the market. Now, I guess one thing that I was a bit surprised about, because this car is now so quiet inside, is that it just lacks a little bit of that character from the engine. I reckon they could definitely put some more sound into the car, some more induction noise from that V6, because when you do get up it sounds really, really good. And on the suspension, this is really soft riding this car. It's really polished. It's a little bit roly-poly in the corners just because it is a heavy car. It's about 2,000 kilos, this car. But the suspension is soft and compliant and it's controlled, especially over some really bumpy stuff that we were on yesterday. So that feels a little bit better than the GV70 that I drove probably about 2 years ago at the Chasing Cars Car of the Year. But it's not all positives with this driving experience in the GV70. One of the big letdowns is the active safety systems. They're just so poorly tuned for Australian roads. The lane keep assist, for instance, cuts in on the wheel way too much. Even if you're in the center of the lane, it just goes crazy and it bings and bongs at you, and it's really distracting and takes away from the driving experience. And I thought that for a Genesis, You'd want a car for a great driving experience, and I think that lane keep assist really does let it down. But there's also issues with the speed assist systems. Whenever you go like a kilometre over the speed limit, it just tends to, well, bing and bong at you again and keeps telling you over and over and over. And it's something that you have to turn off every single time you get into the car. Now, I understand it's a safety thing. I understand that it's probably mandated now or will be mandated, but it just really detracts from the driving experience and it makes you feel like you're not in complete control. And for me, that is a little bit of a letdown for the Genesis GV70 in 2025. I hope that an update comes, even if it's over the air, just to fix some of these systems and to get this car driving even nicer than before. So that's a bit of a rundown of what I think about the Genesis GV70 for its 2025 year. Largely, it is a really good car to drive. It is a comfortable car. It's got plenty of power in both trims, either the 2.5 or the 3.5 V6. My favorite is this V6. I think it's a great thing. We've got to just enjoy these sort of engines while we can before electrification comes in and we see stuff going to full electric setups or at least hybrid setups. So Genesis has definitely improved this car. I love that it's quiet. I love that it's refined. And it's a really surprising, underrated luxury car in 2025. So that's a very quick look at the 2025 Genesis GV70. And what are my first impressions? Well, I've come away really impressed with the interior of this car. That 27-inch screen is just lovely. The seats are lovely. It's well appointed. It's a very luxurious vehicle. I also like that V6 engine, and I probably prefer it over the 2.5 litre four-cylinder turbocharged engine. However, one of the most annoying things about this car is the safety assistance systems, especially that speed alert and the lane keep assist. I think it could be better in 2025. I hope they update it soon, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and find out. So what do you guys think about the Genesis brand? Would you buy one over like a BMW or a Mercedes or even an Audi? Well, let us know down in the comment section below. While you're there, like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.